Magicka, a game of dickery. Or at least that's how the title should have continued. Let me just say this right off. Magicka is awesome. It just sucks. Confused? Me too. Essentially, it's like Alien Swarm, except with, magic and no aliens. It also doesn't have the same controls, which is a pain in the ass at first when you panic and revert to your instincts and fuck everything up. Also, the game is funny. From the Deckard Cain reference straight off to the Swedish chef language, the game in no way presents itself as serious. The way the humor interlaces with the gameplay is pure masterwork. This, combined with the unique and intuitive gameplay, has the makings of a legendary game that could go down in video game history textbooks. After some evil genius/wizard sticks the universe in some form of Sims game as the plot of a bizarre Doctor Who episode. Back to the point, the reason the game is bad is not in any way related to the game's premise. The problem with the game is related to its mechanics. No one can deny that Magicka is buggy as shit, which is hardly surprising considering it was made by 8 Swedish people in a university basement. And we all know how Swedish indie games relate to bugs. If I were to give a bizarre analogy for Magicka, it would be this. Imagine a Ferrari, or your sports car of choice. Now imagine that the engine is sitting in the passenger seat, and the driving wheel is covered in freshly sharpened razor blades. Also, Frankie Boyle is sitting in the back seat insulting your mum. Now that would be pretty shit. Fortunately, Magicka is not quite that bad. The razor blades would be blunt, and Frankie Boyle would be insulting someone else's mum. And now it's time for a personal anecdote to back up my argument, just like my English teachers teachified me to do. So open the game the first time to be met with a black screen. For a bloody long time, too. Then came the jittery, laggy intro animation, so I figured, well, it's my fault for having a computer made of shite. So I went to the graphical options with the intent of turning them down to a horrible, but playable mash of random depth with colors. To my surprise and dismay, there were only 2 options I could take down, reducing my lag to a slightly below unbearable level. So here I am, trying to play a laggy, but very pretty, game. But, I don't derive enjoyment from a game due to its beauty. I derive it from the gameplay, which is severely lacking due to the fact that I literally have to punch my keyboard 20 times for the spell to line up. A task which is made considerably more frustrating by the fact that my friend is shouting into my ear, "Res me, res me, res me, res me!" This brings me to my next irk, resurrection. Apparently, lightning then healing is not the same as healing then lightning, which in my mind is bull-fucking horseshit. Especially when you can have the extent of lag where it sometimes doesn't recognize how fucking hit W fast. Another swab of infected urchin spittle related to resurrection is the bullshit surrounding not being able to ever line up a lightning spell when you're wet. But to make it even worse, it damages you for having the audacity to even try. So on the frequent occasions when my moronic friends decide to murder each other, in the process covering me in water for some reason, and then a large goblin death army comes straight towards me, I start panicking and trying to spam lightning and healing so I can get a fucking res spell going. But I declined to notice that I was wet, and I didn't have the time to, stop being wet. So I either, kill myself, or they kill me. All I'm saying is, give me some notification before I murder myself. So if your computer is made by the hands of God or the hands of Satan, or if you just bought all the expensive parts and taped them together, then go ahead and buy this game. You other asshole stuck in my boat with a semi-decent computer, you're fucked if you try and get it. Thanks for listening to my review, and maybe I'll make another one within the month or year.